Hello guys, my name is Kaimana Kane, and today I'm going to be giving you a book review on Who Was Celia Cruz. So before I start this book review, I actually listened to her salsa music, and I don't really like it that much, so I don't know what's all the fuss about her music. But some people called her the queen of salsa music, and I believe it's in Cuban language, I'm pretty sure it's Cuban language. I couldn't tell what it sounded like because it sounded like Mexican, but I'm pretty sure it was Cuban because she was born in Cuba. So she was a young girl from Havana who became interested in music after winning a singing contest. So Celia Cruz was born on 1925, October 11th, and in 1947 she went to college. And before she went to college, she practiced singing, but she didn't know she was going to be one of the most famous salsa singers of all time, and maybe in fact the most famous salsa singer, but sometimes maybe not the best. So she participated in singing concerts, and what you think might have been a prize was maybe a trophy, maybe some money, but instead they got a kind of bad cake design. And it's at the beginning, and they were actually really surprised for getting the cake because their family was really poor. They just had that cake right there. I sneezed. And that was all she got for most of the concerts. Either a cake, either like some money, really poor money. But she loved singing. So she gets a band and she starts making songs, and she even appeared on the radio, which sounds crazy. Even though maybe I don't like her music, maybe you guys might. You guys is like Celia's music. So she wins and competes. Competes and wins. And she just keeps on doing it, and she gets more prizes. She becomes more famous. She gets to express her feelings through her songs, and pretty much almost everyone, a bunch of people in Cuba knew her. So then she thought it was time to move somewhere else, to move to a new country. So she moves to the USA. In 1957, she moves to the USA. But here's the sad thing. Cuba was Celia's hometown. Cuba was just Celia's home. And, well, a lot of people knew her there, but she didn't know that, so she had this band, and they were actually pretty good. And they take a flight to the U.S., but on the beginning of the flight, well, like almost 1 hour in, she realized, one of the band members realized that is a one-way flight and they can't return to the U.S. So Celia is really sad because her mom's sick, but her dad is really sick, and she thinks he's gonna die in a few days. So, and when she touches down, that's when her dad dies. And sadly, a few days pass, but she's also and she goes to her first concert. And when she goes to her first concert, before she performs, she hears her boyfriend talking about something really sad. And her mom died, so she couldn't cry during the performance, but in between songs, she went to the back of the curtains and started crying. And it's really sad because she had a poor life. Both her father and mother were dead, and a lot of people didn't really like her. So after that, she realized that her audience was actually getting a little more smaller. The reason why is salsa music is actually kind of for adults or just older people in America. But in Cuba, a bunch of people liked her music. So it took her a few concerts or singing competitions to realize what was wrong. But then she realizes if she could do like teenagers' music, and include, just kind of change her style a little bit from just like being native Cuban to like a little bit of USA. She realized that she could get a bigger audience, and that was actually really smart of her. And I just want to compliment that. So, so she is seen on TV. She's casting on radios, and she performs in the U.S. And then in the U.S., in Cuba before, she had her own CD of all the salsa music she ever did. Not exactly all the salsa music she ever did, but some of the salsa music, just a regular CD. She did one for teenagers in America. She did one for adults in America. She did one for elders in America. And yeah, so this book is mostly about Celia performing. And this is actually one of her, like, even though it doesn't look like her, it's not her. This was one of her concerts. And I think she had a really good taste of fashion, because usually in concerts, she usually had a lot of fashion. She had like sparkling shoulders. She had a nice dress, and I think it's much better than one of the book reviews I just did, who was Andy Warhol. And although he had a different type of taste of fashion, it was kind of good. I didn't really like Andy Warhol, but I think Celia Cruz has a better taste of fashion. So she performed for why did I say Barry? She performed for a very large audience, and now she was getting thousands, tens of thousands, and bunch of people at her concerts. So she performs for all ages, and that was Celia Cruz for you, and a Cuban American singer known for her soulful voice and bold style. And now some people call her the queen of salsa music. So in 2003, July 16th, a doctor called, and she actually had a brain tumor. So before that, she realized that she was starting to get old and starting to forget the lyrics of the song, which is kind of normal. But she's practiced the songs thousands of times, and normal Cubans don't really practice songs thousands of times. So I may know the lyrics for Tears, Everybody Wants to Rule the World. I'm just listing kind of basic songs, but I didn't practice it 1,000 times. I've listened to it maybe 10, 15 times, but not to 1,000. So I memorize all the lyrics, but you kind of get the point. If you're old and you practice, Celia Cruz was old, and she practiced it thousands and thousands and tens of thousands of times for her competitions, but I only practiced it 15 times, so it's kind of weird for Celia Cruz to forget the lyrics of her song. So that's why she got the brain tumor, doctors, and after 2 days after the news she died. So I'm gonna see the timelines real quick. Yeah, she dies in Fort Lee, 2003, in New Jersey. So yeah, that's Celia Cruz for you. 8 out of 10, the rating for this book. Too much about competitions. Include more about her personal life and what she did. But yeah, I hope you liked my book review. Make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. And Shaka out of here.